Okay, we have Karen and McCoy, and we're going to show you what McCoy has learned during his board and train time with us. We teach all the dogs that their name is a command and that they should look up when we say their name. You have to have attention. Good job! You've got to have attention from the dog if you expect the dog to respond to any commands. So you always want to say the dog's name first, then give a command. The dog should always look up, and when he does, praise, praise, praise.
Yay, there he is!
Good job!
Let's go!
Let's go is our walking command. It's a loose leash walk on our left side. You'll notice the snap hook is dangling below his neck. There's a nice loop in the neck. I'm sorry, a nice loop in the leash. You don't want tension on the leash or the neck. If he gets too far ahead of you or too far behind, just do some quick about turns like Karen's doing. Pat your leg, say his name, and be sure and praise, praise, praise when he's walking with you. When you come to a stop, he should sit next to you so that he's under control when you want to cross the street or talk to your neighbor. We do the sit-stay, which is a flat hand in front of the face, and the verbal word stay. And then you should be able to drop the leash, walk away.
Boy, good stay.
Sit-stay is good for short periods of time, going in and out of open doors, talking to your neighbor, putting the leash on, and the collar on when you're about to go for a walk. If he does lay down, you notice Karen made him sit up. We want the sit to be a sit and down to be down, so we don't want him to choose. He can't pick and choose what he does. If he's on a sit, he needs to stay seated. If we tell him to lay down, then he needs to stay in a down position. And you can throw balls for him as a distraction. He's used to having dogs around him while he stays. If he were to move, you would say, and correct him with your voice, and then put him back where he was and remind him to stay. Good boy. Next thing, we work on a down command, which is a down verbal command while you point down to the ground.
There you go.
He goes down, you want to roll him onto his haunch. He doesn't have to be on his side. If he rolls over and wants his tummy rubbed, ignore the belly. We're not rubbing tummies. This is a working down. You can rub his tummy any other time, but when you're asking him to lie down, we want him to be in a work mode. Good boy. Lots and lots of praise when he stays where you want, when you want. He's got to understand I'm doing the right thing. Every once in a while they get a treat for doing a good job, and you can certainly do that at home. Okay is our release command. It lets him know he's no longer on a command and he's able to move freely about the room. Next thing we work on is a come command with a 20-foot long line. You'll need to buy a long line to practice the come command at home. You also use your long line for practicing longer distance stays. When you do the come command, you want him distracted. You want to say his name in a clear voice. He should look at you, and then you say the word come, and he comes up to you and sits in front, and he gets a treat for being such a good puppy. You don't want to use the long line to reel him in like you would a fish. The long line should drape loosely on the ground. You only use the long line if you can't get his attention. That was perfect. He looked away from the dog when Karen said his name, and he came right to her. The whole time he's coming to you, you've got to praise. Praise every step of the way so he knows that he's doing a great job.
Hey, McCoy. Good sit.
The jumping, we work on teaching puppies to sit for petting. They never get attention here unless they're on a sit. So if he walks up to you and attempts to jump, ask him to sit, and then he gets all of his attention.
Good boy, good sit.
Good job.
Good, that's hard.
That is hard.
Good boy.
There's information in a folder we're going to send home with you regarding socialization, building self-confidence. For his age, he's a very sweet puppy, but he's very, very, very submissive. He is a bit of a worrier. He's a little bit anxious, so you really want to work on that self-confidence and getting him out and about and used to lots of different things.
Let's go. Okay, McCoy. Here you are. Sit.
I forgot to get their beds. Sorry.
Stay.
And that's McCoy. He did a great job. Be sure and bring him back for daycare and boarding and more training.